Welcome to the Lechtich Parsha podcast, where we delve into the Torah's timeless wisdom and uncover uplifting and empowering lessons tailored to the challenges of our generation.
Agoteno Shabbos Parshas Vaeira Tovshin Pei Gimel. Hope you had a wonderful week. There's a story told about Rabbi Elyashiv. One time he had to come in from Eretz Yisrael to get a certain procedure done. And after the procedure, he was persistent in finding out how to say thank you in English. And his Talmidim asked him, Rebbe, don't worry, you're the Gadol Dar. You're a masmid. You don't have to take care of the thank you. We'll say thank you to the doctor for you. Don't worry about it. And Rabbi Elyashiv said, no. I want to thank the doctor in a language he knows how to say thank you. And they practiced a few times, thank you, until Rabbi Elyashiv had it. And afterwards he was able to say and give a wholesome and hearty thank you to the doctor in a language he understood. And the character traits, the midas, the lifestyle that Gedolim pursued, isn't for naught. It's not coincidental. It's for us to learn from. And in this week's parsha, this midah of akaras tov, to take it to the farthest degree, to utilize it to its maximum, to be thankful, to be cognizant, alert, and aware of goodness bestowed to us from others, from Hashem. It's a tremendous lesson, as we'll see, that we will learn in this week's parsha. In this week's parsha, regarding the makkah of lice, the kinim, the Torah tells us that it was Aaron who was commanded in bringing about this makkah. Rashi explains that the reason why Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't bring this makkah forth was because Moshe Rabbeinu in last week's parsha was saved by the sand, because when he saw the Mitzri killing his fellow brother, Moshe Rabbeinu struck the Mitzri, he died. And subsequently, Moshe Rabbeinu went and hid him in the sand by Tmineu B'Choel. He hid him, and the sand essentially saved Moshe Rabbeinu's life. It covered his action. Now, therefore, says Rashi in our parsha, by Kinim, that for this reason, for the fact that Moshe Rabbeinu was a beneficiary, he benefited from the sand, it wasn't roy, it was unfit. It would have been inconsiderate for Moshe Rabbeinu to have gone and hit the sand and turn it into lice. So therefore, Aaron had to bring about this makkah. So there are three questions, there are probably more, but three questions that I would like to deal with. The first one, the dust, sand, earth, is what the Svarim call a doimim. It's an inanimate object. It doesn't speak, it doesn't have feelings, it doesn't have emotions. It's not asking for thanks. It doesn't know if you thanked it or not. So, how does the whole Indian of thanks, how do we understand this? That Moshe Rabbeinu even had to thank the sand. That he was required to give a akaras tov to sand? How could that be? Question number 2. Why indeed did Hashem orchestrate that the makkah is the beginning of the greatest revelation ever of Hashem's hand, starting with the Makkos, ending with Yetzias Mitzrayim, with Kriyas Yamsuf, the most unbelievable miracles that ever happened, that will ever happen, that Klal Yisrael will ever exhibit. Why was this the prerequisite that Moshe Rabbeinu had to abstain? He had to sit on the sidelines. He was the manig, he was the leader of Klal Yisrael at the time. Wouldn't it have been fit for him to have brought about the first makkah? So why did Hashem indeed make it that Hakaras HaTov was going to be the foundation for Yetzias Mitzrayim? Aaron is going to start the Kinim, he'll bring the other Makkos. Moshe Rabbeinu is going to sit on the side, and after the first three, then we'll bring Moshe Rabbeinu, the leader, in. Why couldn't Hashem rig it the other way? Maybe Moshe Rabbeinu could have started the first couple, and then Aaron could have done the Kinim. Why was this so important right now that Moshe Rabbeinu had to remember the sand? And lastly, Moshe Rabbeinu was reported, Dasan and Aviram saw what had transpired when he killed the Mitzri, and they reported him to Paro, and now Moshe Rabbeinu's life was endangered. So he didn't even get benefit. He wasn't even saved by the sand, and yet Rashi tells us that he had to give Akar Satov to the sand. Why? He didn't even get benefit. He ended up getting discovered, revealed. So what kind of thanks was he required to give to the sand? So there's a famous Yesod, but it's always important to reiterate and to repeat them and say them over. From Yerucham Levavitz, the Mashgiach of Mir and of Dessler, the Heilige Michtav Melio, they say as follows. They say that the Yesod, the idea, the concept of Akar Satov, isn't what the Goyim call to pay the debt of gratitude. Because if that was the pshat, that we just have to give a thanks, we have to absolve ourselves, we have to just make sure that the person who did us the favor hears the words thank you, then it wouldn't make sense to say thank you to sand. But says Yerucham, says of Dessler, Hakar Satov is making the recipient, the thanker, into a better person. How so? Because when he has to realize, when he has to open his eyes, when he has to be submissive and realize that he needs the hand of other people, he needs the atava, the goodness, the kindness of other people, that makes him into a more thankful makar tov. That makes him into a more accepting, cognizant and alert person. And it won't just lead to him thanking other people, but ultimately it will make him into a better Eved Hashem, because he'll be able to see the greatness in even what we call small things. As we say, Kol neshima uneshima tahalaka, on every breath, I'll thank you Hashem. And when we exercise this midah with people, with our friends, it's not only to give thanks to the one who did kindness to us, it's to make us better, make us more aware and alert of the hatava, of the kindness of Hashem. And when we become bigger makirei tov, we'll be able to see the kindness in Hashem, everything we do, everywhere we go. And that's why the midah of Akar Satov is so important. The Medrash goes so far to say that if one doesn't exercise this midah, if one does not have this midah of Akar Satov, he'll become a kaifer in Hashem. Why is that? Rav Matisyahu Salman explains, based on what we've said, that of course, if he doesn't exercise this midah, if he doesn't see the goodness in other people, from other people, he's not going to see the hand of Hashem, because he's never exercised what it means to look out of his dal amas. When he sees beyond, when he sees the goodness and the kindness of others, in turn he'll be able to see the hand of Hashem in everything, in the small things, the day-to-day activity, even without all excitement, new things, big things, in the small, simple things. He'll be able to say, wow, this is amazing. I went outside, I went for a walk, the sun is shining, I have a happy family, I have bread, I have chicken, I have milk, I have eggs, whatever it is. Hashem took care of everything. Hashem takes care of everything. And when he has that mindset, he has everything. Accordingly, we can answer all of the questions we started off with. The reason why Moshe Rabbeinu had to give Akar Satov to the rock wasn't because the rock needed his thanks. It's because Moshe Rabbeinu had to become better from it. It was going to make him better, that even if dust, if afar, if sand did him a favor, Moshe Rabbeinu had to see the good in the sand, and he had to thank. He had to be submissive even to the sand. Why did he have to give Akar Satov even though ultimately the sand didn't save him? So Rav Matisyahu Salman explains, for those few moments of Yishuv Hadas, of inner content and peace, of tranquility, of shalva, menucha sanefesh, for those couple of minutes, or maybe it was hours, until his actions were reported to Paro, just for that itself, the chiyuv, the obligation of Akar Satov goes so far, that for that as well, he was obligated in giving Akar Satov to the sand. And lastly, why was it that Hashem orchestrated that all the miracles of Yetzias Mitzrayim? It began with this Yesod, with this idea, with this concept of Akar Satov, because Akar Satov means implementing and establishing that there's a Ribono Shel Olam, that there's a Creator. Only once that's firmly established, only then can we go on to have Emunah in Him. Since the Makkos, the whole idea, the whole reason why Hashem brought these Lamal min Teva, was in order to boost, enrich, and enhance our Amunah in Hashem, to see Hashem's Ashkacha. We want to build our Amunah from that. But we can only have Amunah once we have a Hakar, we have a recognition that there is an Eibishter, that there is a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So therefore, Hashem first had it be implanted and established with Hakara Satov, being truly Makir, recognizing Tov, the true bestower of good, which is referring to Hashem. Only after that would the Makus, would their lesson of Amunah be able to be implemented into the Neshamas of every Yid. But without firmly establishing, without having the Hakara in motion first, then there's nothing to be maimin in. There's no place for Amunah without having reached first base. Based on this, Rav Hutner says a beautiful idea. The word Haida, which literally means thanks, Moidim, Haida. The shoyish of the word Haida is Moideh, to thank, but it also means to admit. Thanks and admit. Rav Hutner explains the reason for this, the reason why the word Moideh has two meanings, thanks and admit. The answer is because it's only a person who can admit, who can be submissive, who can have true humility, to lower himself down and realize that he's nothing, to realize that there's a God who runs everything, who orchestrates everything. Only that person can come to thanks. But an arrogant person, a person who's stuck up, who has no midah of anava, who's not humble, for him it's impossible to say thank you. That's why arrogant people can't say thank you, because they can't lower themselves down. So therefore, only a person who can admit could come to true thanks. That's why the word moideh has these two meanings, because they're synonymous. You can't break them up. And the message is that the more thankful, the more cognizant and mindful we are of the Tov HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of the kindness and the never-ending, the constant good that Hashem showers on us, just like in the time of Mitzrayim, where that was a prerequisite, where that was an essential key in order to merit the Yeshua of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Only once there was a true Hakara, of Hakara Satayv, of realizing that there was a Hashem, only then were they zeichet to the Nisim of Kriyas Yamsuf, of all the Makkos. With Hashem's help, when we work and strive to be bigger Makirei Tov, with that in Mitzvah Hashem will come a greater level of Emunah, and Mitzvah Hashem, we should all be zeichet to see the personal Nisim that we all need in our lives. Have a wonderful Shabbos.
I thank each and every one of you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I wish you a wonderful Shabbos.